pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Heimel?
Here.
Mr. Buckman?
Here.
For Justice People, present, and our recording secretary.
Do we have any? All right, before public comments, I would like to make it known that we are recording this to be able to post the whole thing on our website. So if you do have a public comment or you're one of our guests, we do ask that you come to the podium, give us your name, and then you'll have up to 3 minutes for public comments. And then our guests will have their time that they need, but we just want to make everyone aware that it is being recorded. Thank you. With that being said, is there any public comments on the posted agenda items at this time? All right, hearing none, we'll move to the minutes from our April 16th, 2026 meeting. Do we?
Move to approve. I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, our guests today, first we have Nick. Nick, I'm going to butcher your last name.
Angeliri.
Okay. He is with Vision Government Solutions, and he's going to give a little presentation on the Potter County reassessment.
Good morning, everybody. As Ms. Grubb just said, Nikki Angeliri, I'm with Vision Government Solutions. We are conducting the countywide reassessment for Potter. I'm just going to go over briefly some of what to expect during our data collection phase and throughout the project. So the last reassessment in Potter County was performed in 1977, excuse me. A countywide reassessment is required to achieve a more uniform, fair, and equitable property assessments. So reassessment is the process of conducting the data collection and market analysis necessary to equalize the value of all properties within a county for the purpose of a fair distribution of the tax burden. The County of Potter conducted its last countywide reassessment in 1977 and will conduct its next countywide reassessment for the 2029 tax rolls. The primary goal of reassessment is, again, tax-based market values should equal 100% of the true market value, and there must be uniformity in the assessed value of all properties with similar characteristics. So, for example, throughout the entire county, if there's a ranch home with similar characteristics in Coudersport and in Genesee, they should be similar except for the location characteristics instead of widespread from the base year. Here's an example of what the trifold will look like. These are going to be left behind at every property that our data collectors visit. They're full of information, websites, phone numbers, anything you would need to contact Vision about any questions you have about your property, why the data collectors are there, if you ran into any issues. Regardless if you're home or not home, you will receive one of these whenever a data collector is on your property. If you're not there, it'll be hung on your door. If you are there, they'll just hand it to you directly. Major project phases. We are currently in phase 1. That's the data collection phase. It started just a few weeks ago here in April, and we expect it to go through mid-2027. After that process, and actually part of it during that process, is the market analysis, which come into phase 2 sometime over the summer of 2026, and that would go through the entirety of the project. I know it says fall of 2027, but we're constantly doing market analysis to make sure that we're tight with our values. The valuation process, again, it's following suit. It's going to be fall of 2026 once we get some data collected through fall of 2027. And then all of the parcels that are visited are going to be reviewed by a Pennsylvania licensed CPE. They live in Pennsylvania. They have been doing this for quite a while. It's not anybody out of state, live right here in PA. Some of them might even live in Potter. I'd have to check. But they review all of the data. They make sure it's accurate. They're checking, aerial imagery. Accuracy is key. That being said, moving into phase 5, the informal hearings, those are for property owners to come in and discuss any tabular data or any characteristics of your property that we might have got wrong because maybe somebody wasn't there or something has changed. Come in, tell us what everything is, what kind of changes we need to make. Photos are very beneficial at those hearings. So that's one of the public's ways of telling us in person. Also, after we're done in a district, we're going to send out data verification mailers. What those are, it's just going to be a mailing of everything our data collectors picked up while they were there. You can review that data. If it's wrong, you can make the corrections and you can mail it back into us so we can review it and then make those changes. After the informal hearing process, I know it's not on here. I just want to make sure I touch on it. There's also a formal appeal process. It's just like your annual appeals. That's where you can actually discuss value, and it would be in front of the Board of Revision or Board of Assessment Appeals. There's a total of 4 steps that a property owner could go through to make sure that their data and their value is accurate. So data collectors, how to identify Vision data collectors. They're hired. So data collectors are hired by Vision, and many data collectors are residents of Potter County. Actually, currently, there are only 2 that are not. There are most seasoned data collectors. They've been with our company for many years. They're from Pennsylvania as well, but they're thrown into the mix while we're getting everybody up and running. Every data collector will be wearing county photo identification badges, just like this. Also, they'll have a Vision badge with them as well with their photo on it. They have highlighter vests, as I like to call them. It will say Vision Government Solutions on the back and a little logo on the front. They'll be carrying around laser measurers. They look like little candy bars. And tape measures. You can't miss them. Their vehicles are labeled with magnets. They have our company's phone number on them. Any resident needs to call. It's going to be found on that trifold as well as on the vehicle of the person in their driveway. We notify the townships, the police, the commissioners, the assessment office, the DA's office of which townships our collectors are in. That way, if there's something suspicious going on, they're aware that our company's out there doing this, and if they can explain more to that person what's going on, or they at least can let us know so we can handle the situation. Does anybody have any questions up to this point?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Ask it now, so don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the phase 5, the informal hearings. Will individuals have been notified of any preliminary findings or results before that period so that they know why they're coming in?
Yes. So what's a little out of order, the data verification mailers is the first step to making sure the data is accurate. Then we'll send out preliminary value notices.
Absolutely.
So those preliminary value notices go out with the preliminary assessed value for the new tax year. And there's a website you can go and review all your information as well at that time. Then it would be the informal appeal process, formal appeal after that, and then common pleas if they take it to the common pleas level.
You said that the township or the borough, everybody will be notified. that they're going to be in the area. Are there notifications going out to the residents?
There are no blanket mailings going out to the
Okay.
residents. The intent, don't want to overstep, we're going to have some meetings. We're reaching out to township supervisors, going to some supervisor meetings as well,
Okay.
trying to get out in front of the public and at least be visible and transparent as possible.
But the Board of Supervisors will be notified
Correct.
and everything? Yep, okay, perfect, thank you. I have one other question. When the data collectors go out and they come to my property and I don't want them on my property, what happens?
If you tell them to leave, they will leave. In that situation, we still have to get the information. So there's a variety of ways that we would do that, albeit not as accurate as being on the property and doing the measurements in person. There's aerial imagery, old assessment records, Google Earth. Like there's plenty of ways to get the information.
So just by not allowing them on my property does not stop the reassessment, is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
My understanding is every property in Potter County is being reassessed.
Every property. And every property is being visited as well, including vacant ground.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask a rhetorical question
Yes.
because I think it's important.
Sure.
The public knows this. Why not just leave the values the way they are?
That's not fair and equitable. But what I mean by that is 1977 to 2026, that's a big chunk of time. Let's say 1977, I'm just making this up because I don't know where everything is quite yet, but like Genesee was the place to be. And I'm saying Genesee because that's where our data collectors are. Now in 2026, maybe it's not. And there's been a change in the market up there. So those values aren't as high as they would have been in 1977. They're being assessed at a higher rate because it's old values, whereas they should be less, and maybe Coudersport's now the place to be. Those values are going up, so there's a disparity. The reassessment brings everybody to a level playing field, and when that happens, millage rates all readjust. As you know, we've discussed the county, municipalities, and school districts to remain revenue neutral. So those millage rates go down because you can't have more revenue the year after a reassessment. So people's individual tax bills might fluctuate, but overall, the tax base will remain the same.
Thank you.
Is that what you were after?
Well, I just like being a straight man to explain why we would do this. It might not be wise
That's to bring
be
everybody-
taxing property on a value that it was set 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's just not fair and equitable to people across the board. Yes, ma'am.
Nick, thank you. I've fielded several questions from my own constituency, and until your team can come down to the borough for Southern Potter County, I would like to know the answers so I can answer them more accurately. When your personnel come to the door, are they just asking questions, or will they have to go into the house?
They will not go into the house. We don't enter any homes, structures. No matter how badly somebody in the public might want them to see something, they do not enter a home.
That's fine. The follow-up question to that is, what counts in the reassessment? Do sheds count? Do lean-tos count? Open, temporary buildings?
So when the data collector is on site, they pick up everything. That does not mean that that is valuable, but state statute, the assessment office has to inventory and keep track of all buildings on properties, value or not. So we collect it all, so the assessment office has all of the data.
So the follow-up question to that is, at least in our borough, property lines were adjusted roughly 20-ish years ago. And a lot of people don't know where the property lines are. And now we have pieces of other people's property overlapping property lines. How do you account for that in the reassessment?
So from an acreage standpoint, it's going to be based off of the information provided by the assessment office. But
Not
if it's a
from an
building,
acreage, from a building
For buildings?
standpoint.
so we're going to be as accurate as we can based on, we don't have surveys. We don't survey while we're out there.
Right.
That would be something for that data verification mailer to inform us, hey, this is actually on the neighboring property, the property line adjustment, the informal review hearing. Perfect. That's a perfect opportunity to make sure that we do have that right. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there's going to be stuff that is inaccurate. We don't want that. That's why we have the extra steps.
And then the last question, I don't know if you're the one to answer this or the commissioners, is if we're reassessing the entire county, do we also get to reassess the state forest land and how much they pay us as a county in whole?
So does it, commissioners have anything to
I think
mention?
we'll defer that to Commissioner Heimel.
I mean, the state owns roughly 65% of our land. And we're getting what, $3-ish per acre?
Yeah, it is an apples and orange question, but believe me, I'm very sympathetic to your comments. And, I would just state that that's totally a state government issue. The statutes do not provide that the state be held liable for paying any real estate taxes. They do so by separate statute of a payment in lieu of taxes. It's been increased twice in recent past. It's still inadequate. Many county school districts and townships would concur. But that's another road which we could go down for a long time right now. But the answer, we have no control over the tax situation with state-owned land. I think it's in the high mid 40%, maybe 44, 45. But it's a lot.
So the follow-up question would be, would the commissioners pursue this through Representative Causer and Senator Dush to push a little more increase?
There's a long history here. Potter County has actually led that effort to have that PILT increased. And both of the gentlemen that you mentioned and one of the predecessors, Senator Scarnati, have been extremely helpful and supportive in that. Efforts have been successful in persuading downstate lawmakers who really have no state forest park or game lands to see the impact that has on our tax base. And they've actually signed on also to the higher PILT, even though there's nothing in it for them or their constituents. It's just the right thing to do. Not to belabor the issue, but we're now seeking a separate source of revenue through the timber sales, which generate millions of dollars for the state, through oil, gas, and potentially renewable energy leases, which also generate millions of dollars, to share a portion of that revenue on their land in our municipalities, school districts, and counties. And that is a battle that's heating up, heading into the budget deliberations this year.
Indeed. It just seems unfair. The state is forcing the county into an impoverished state.
For
Thank
those of you on the phone, just to make it aware, that was Jen Inman from Austin Borough. Okay. Nick, go ahead.
So just a quick process. We did touch on some of this already. The data collectors, they're going to measure and collect exterior measurements of all buildings. If the property owner is present, the data collector will ask the property owner about the interior characteristics. They will only ask, they will not ask to see them, as data collectors are not authorized to enter homes. They'll take new photographs for each building and outbuilding. That informational door hanger will be left with the property owner or on the door if nobody is home. And separate data verification forms will be mailed to the property. That would be the data verification mailers, just to verify that the information collected is accurate. So the informal review process, I'll just kind of go through this quickly. This is going to be gone over again. This is towards the end of the project, but just like a quick peek as to what's to come. Notice of proposed new values will be mailed to each property owner. The informal reviews with vision staff to discuss and present evidence regarding the property's physical description and characteristics that might affect value. Remote reviews can be set up if a property is seasonal and the property owner cannot be present. They own cabins and they live out of state. Also, sometimes the elderly would like to not have to come in. We like to accommodate everybody. Update vision website with new data and values. Once those preliminary value notices go out, you're going to be able to go to our website. You'll be able to look up your property and see what's going to be in the CAMA system. The formal hearings is where an owner can challenge the new values at the formal appeal, if necessary, at the Court of Common Pleas. This burden of proof falls to the property owner. So, recommendations, nobody has to take them, but an actual appraisal, like a fee appraisal, would be beneficial to have. If not, you still argue the value. It would just be in front of the Clean and Green. There's going to be more information coming about this, but it's farmland and forestry land parcels will also receive a Clean and Green land value based on the soil-based state rates. Be future special meetings for landowners that would be able to or are currently enrolled in the Clean and Green program, and all landowners who have 10 or more acres will receive correspondence at a later date. That 10 or more acres, just to touch on that briefly, that's 10 or more contiguous acres. So if you own a 2-acre parcel and an 8-acre parcel and they touch, that's 10 acres. So that's a combination as long as they are contiguous. And I did explain the revenue neutral. This is an example of the millage equalization that I was talking about. For example, this is just for an example purpose only. These aren't real numbers. The assessed value of the county before the reassessment, let's say it's $734 million, and the millage rate currently being 30 mils. The tax revenue is 22 million. After the reassessment, let's say that value jumps to $4.4 billion. Because tax revenue has to stay at 22 million, that would mean the millage rate would drop 25 mils to 5 mils to keep the revenue neutral. And with that, that's all I have for the presentation. If anybody has any other questions, it's okay with the commissioners. I'm happy to answer them.
Are there any other
I
questions?
have one more softball to throw up, but this is just playing the straight man, because I think this is important people know this. What has been your experience in terms of how many people after a reassessment have seen their taxes rise, decrease, or stay about the same?
An excellent question. Excellent question. Usually about a third go down, about a third stay the same, and about a third rise. And not like dollar for dollar, that's based on about $100 span.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Does anybody on the phone have any questions for Nick? All right. Hearing none. Thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate you coming today.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Next on our list, on our agenda, is Kayla Wright with, she's a Potter County Human Services Mental Health Director. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Here's some information.
Thank you so much for having me today. I know I was here last year, but April flew by and tomorrow starts May. So we like to celebrate mental health awareness and make sure, that our community knows that we can support them in the different things that we have to support them. But just wanted to start at county level. Since we've moved in, everybody's been very accepting of us, and even the businesses, we go around and hand out different things and information, and they've been very welcoming and accepting, being a small community. So we're very thankful for that. Starting Mental Health Awareness Month, I have a calendar of events that I create each year with different trainings and different things that just promote self-care and mental health awareness. So we're kicking off tomorrow with a compassion fatigue training. That's for all county staff to attend. So we're excited for that. Between McKean County and Potter County, we've had some devastation with 3 losses due to suicide in the last few months. So I've connected with McKean and they were open to working with us. We have QPR training scheduled next week on May 6th. And the QPR training stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. And that helps identify signs of suicide, how to talk to somebody who might be contemplating, and the different resources we have available. So our crisis provider is coming up to do 2 free trainings. So we're looking forward to that. As part of our distribution of information this year, I just wanted to share our senior centers. We've connected with them, and they did a fantastic job. This one actually came from Gailton, but they handmade these hearts, and we have our Potter County crisis number. There is a national 988 number, but Potter County has our own crisis number that instead of, you can still call 988, but instead of that, we have our own number that will just be a direct call or a text line. A lot of our younger folks use that. And then a positive quote on the back that we're going to share with our community. I know there's some in the jail already, and we're going to share those with all communities in Potter County. So we're very thankful for them, and we were able to go to each senior center and talk with them. And most of them were really engaged, and I was actually very impressed on the conversations that we could have with them and talking about their grandchildren and different services. So that's been really nice. We also are planning a Steps Towards Tomorrow event in recognition of Suicide Awareness Month in September. We're actually having it Saturday, August 15th. And we opened a recovery center here in this building in the back, and that's being used every time that I'm in there. I have at least 3 people. Sometimes I have 6 or 7. And coming in who are in recovery. It can be mental health, it can be drug and alcohol. We've had individuals who are homeless. We have different things for them and all the resources we have available. So for that, we're going to have an awareness walk. We're going to have a photo booth, a memory board, and we're going to have our mental health providers come together and each have a table so we can hand out those resources so people know, you know, in a hard time, who can I reach out to, what's the phone number, and to meet a face. And we'll have free refreshments and other activities also. But I'm thankful for my department. We are growing a little bit, which is exciting. And just wanted to thank our community and for the commissioner for being so accepting of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. All right, we'll move on to our new business. We have a request for proposal for professional engineer for subdivision and land development ordinance, stormwater management, and related environment reviews and inspections. We have a motion to approve that request for proposal. I'll second that. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have an acceptance for quotes and bids. We did have finally some quotes for materials for the Market Village project, which is across the square across from the jail. We will take the low bid on each thing. I'll just mention each one, and then we can accept them as a whole. First, we have the park benches from National Outdoor Furniture in the amount of $2,631.40. We have fence and signs by being provided by, the bid was from Home Depot in the amount of $1,409.60. We have the trash and pet waste, which is from Webstront,
Yep.
In the amount of $1,260. We have ADA signage by Granger in the amount of $146.71. The curbs, winning bid is Webstront again in the amount of $801. That's $801. We have paver edging again by Home Depot in the amount of $1,896.88. We have 2A gravel. The winning bid was North Penn Supply in the total amount of $2,947.
Yep.
Okay. And then for our TSA, it's from Heidelberg Materials. This is for limestone, in the total amount of $5,217. And then we also have DSA, and that's Heidelberg again for limestone, different tonnage amount, and that total is $15,886. Do we have a motion to accept all those as a whole?
Move to approve those low bids.
Second.
Any discussion on them?
They are grant funded, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yes, this is from the grant that we got from, not Route 6.
It's DCNR,
Yeah,
DCNR.
Yeah.
And our match is all
in kind. Yep. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have an appointment for Will Hunt to be on North Central's PA Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee. The term was April 30th, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second, we also have appointments to our Potter County Safety Committee. This is an internal committee for employees. So we've established the committee and have, the officers are just, they're all employees of the county. We just need to have an official approval of each of these people. They were elected by the general members of the employees. So do I have a motion to approve the safety committee members?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have our contracts and agreement. We have an agreement for digital assurance for SEC post in issuance compliance services for the 2026 general obligation bond. We have a motion to approve that.
Move to approve.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have contracts from Potter County Human Services for aging and ID. There's a couple different ones. Senior Center lease modification, and then Enrichment Therapy LLC and their costs. Do we have a motion to approve those contracts?
So moved.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on those? All in favor?
Does that mean that Gilton finally is going to have a permanent home?
We hope so. All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Under personnel, we have a couple actions. We have a promotion recommended by Ashley Gledhill, our pathonetary and clerk of courts. She is has promoted Jessica Woodard Scott for the full-time Deputy 2 civil duty position. Do we have a motion to acknowledge that?
I'll move to acknowledge that promotion.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have hire, District Attorney Andy Watson has hired Derek Hartman to fill the District Attorney intern position, which is effective from May 6, 2026 through October 15th, 2026. Do we have a motion to acknowledge that?
I'll move to acknowledge that.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And then we have a completion of assignment, that we were advised that at the close of business today, April 30th, 2026, Sheriff Kevin Siska, his assignment as interim warden will be concluded effective May 1st. Tomorrow, Ricky Hurley will assume the role of warden.
Earlier.
Hurler, sorry. What type of action do we need to take?
Just a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Chief Clerk Jessica Giebel, do we have a liquid fuel request?
We have one application from Bingham Township in the amount of $3,324.37.
All right, do we have a motion to approve that?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor? Aye. Commissioners' reports. I do not have anything to report. I was happy to have Nick here today to just clarify some misinformation that's been out there through social media. And I thought he did a very good job. Again, if anybody has any questions or concerns, please contact Vision. We do have a phone number for them, which is 1-800-525-9876. You can always contact one of the commissioners. We'll be happy to answer your questions if we can. If they're more technical than we know, we will again get you in touch with Vision. And I just want to thank you for being here for us for that today. All right, Commissioner Heimel.
Just in keeping with the Mental Health Awareness Month, we're going to have the jail board meeting will be held tomorrow at noon. It's open to the public. And one of the few agenda items will be a summary of the mental health services that are provided in the jail. Kayla, who you saw a little earlier today, will be there in a couple of her roles, mental health services director, and also acted with the Reentry Coalition. Warden Hurler, effective midnight tonight, the new warden, will be also addressing some of the issues. The bottom line of it is that there's been improvements made and jails evolved. We've had a jail board for almost 4 years. There's been a lot of changes that have been made, and it wasn't real easy to get that jail board concept pushed through. We were the only one other county in the state that still requires the person who gets elected sheriff to also happen to be the warden. Well, we didn't feel that it was appropriate for that individual. Sheriff's busy enough to also have another full-time job, but that's neither here nor there. There's been a lot of progress made at the jail under the leadership of the jail board. The members are elected officials, have been very dedicated to it. There's morale at the jail. Those insiders, and Commissioner Rossman visits from time to time, would confirm morale's probably never been higher, at least in recent times. And so there's a lot of good things going on at the jail. And the mental health services will be the focus this month, and we'll probably have other services during future jail board meetings so that we board members really know what's going on a day-to-day basis. That's at noon here at the Gunzberger Building tomorrow. Open to the public, and I believe there's a call-in option which you can find on the county website.
Thank you. Commissioner Rossman.
I don't have anything this week, other than to say, let's pray for nice weather for the Maple Festival this week.
Yes. Yes, Maple Festival starts tomorrow through Saturday. So if you're not doing anything, go on down to the square. All right, we'll move on to the bills for Potter County. We have our Potter County fiscal summary from April 17th, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We have the Potter County fiscal summary from April 21st, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So move.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Potter County fiscal summary from April 22nd, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve that? I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Potter County fiscal summary from April 24th, 2026. Motion to approve that.
Second.
Bob's got it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We have Potter County Human Services fiscal summary, April 2nd, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's all of those. All right, our next meeting is May 14th, 2026, here in this room at 11 a.m.